Good morning. Today I'm going to review Okemo Mountain Resort in beautiful Ludlow, Vermont, one of my favorite places to visit. The town itself is so-so. I mean, it's not one of the quite beautiful Vermont towns, but it's a nice little town, nevertheless, with options of restaurants and shops. I'm biased towards this little tiny restaurant called Tacos, best tacos you'll find anywhere east of the Mississippi. Let's do that. I like that expression. Good Mexican food there. But well, let's talk about Okemo itself. So you going to southern Vermont, you want a really nice place to ski. Got a couple options. I covered Mount Snow the other day. Cover Okemo today. Great. Okemo, as you can tell from this, their homepage is an epic resort or Vail resort. So it's on the Epic Pass. It's to me the quintessential New England family resort. Of course, there are other family resorts that are very good too, but this one is really, really good for family. So for people who are solo, single, etc., and just want to go ski and have fun, this is you may not like that there's a lot of kids there, but there you'll find kids, especially in areas that where there's a convergence of trails, like taking Mountain Road. I'll go over all that stuff. I've talked to people before, I've gone there many, many times. This is probably the New England ski resort that I've gone to more than anywhere else, and still one of my favorites, even to this day. I sometimes I'd sit at a restaurant and eat. I talk to people about which is the best places to go. What I've been told is if you're a skier, it's Killington in that area. If you're a skier or boarder, go to Okemo. So, I mean, I don't know if you can take that's what the locals tell me, and I can see that to a certain degree, but you can have a great time here. So let's take a look at the trail map, and then we'll go over prices and all the other good stuff. I'll tell you, Okemo is open for the 25-26 season today on November 25th. Great. It's earlier than last year, I think. So basically there's two mountains here, right? Or you can even say there's like three different areas that you could ski at. The Solitude area opens later, and this has to do with hibernation or hibernation because the bears have to hibernate. So this one won't open yet, but it'll be open soon. So it has nothing to do with because they could certainly make the snow there if they want. It focuses on the main face here. And of course, you have this area here as well. Excuse me, south face. All right, so we'll start with the lodge and parking. Parking has always been free, and I like that. It's your typical skiing parking lot. There are several levels to it. If you get there early, you can park close to the lodge and just walk in. Otherwise, there's a couple of additional parking lots that you can use and get bussed in. So that's very typical. There's also buses that go in between. Actually, was I looking at the wrong place? Solitude. But here's the main lodge. That's what I was looking. I'm sorry. That's the main lodge I was looking at the Solitude area. But you can bus in from there. There's a nice hotel at Solitude, and if you're staying there when it's not open, there's a bus that'll take you to the clock. They call this the clock tower because there's a nice looking clock there with a clock tower there. So here's what I was thinking of. So you have parking that's right here, and then the ones that are nearby here, and then they go further out as you get towards Ludlow, and you can take, like I said, you can take a bus over there. There's also buses in town that can bring you to the mountain, so that's not much of a problem there. Here at the clock tower, you have some good long beginner runs to help you warm up, or if you're a beginner, you can spend the whole day here and have a blast. Hot Dog Hill has a nice terrain park. Sugar House, this little lodging area, I love it. In the middle of winter, there's this great, great Jamaican barbecue place. You can get good pulled pork, and it's amazing. You can sit outdoors with a nice, if there's heaters, outdoor heaters, sit there, have your pulled pork, pulled chicken sandwich, burger. The chef is great. He's always there. He's always been there every year. He's been very accommodating to like me and my son. Like if they didn't have bacon cheeseburger, he'd make one for us. Great. They serve beer. I do question when people drink large, heavy alcohol beers when they're going skiing. It's like drinking and driving, but you can do that if you like. There's also indoors. There's also a good soup place if you like pho and stuff like that. It's a great little lodge there. And then next to that, you have one of those waffle houses. I think waffle houses probably around here somewhere. All right, but you can have a good time just going here. This is Lower Mountain Road. One of my favorite things to do in this mountain, and it's not open yet, is to go from all the way to the top, all the way to the top, Sundog, Upper Mountain Road. I think you can reach it from up here too. Go down Upper Mountain Road all the way around. This is one of the most beautiful trails you'll do in all of New England. It's not a fast trail. It's not meant to be, right? There's a couple areas where it gets a little bit, you have a little bit of room to play around with, but it's spectacular. The views are spectacular. Take a lot of pictures, and it's really, really long. So you can have a good time doing it. So I would strongly recommend put it on your skiing bucket list. If you get to Okemo, you want to definitely do that. So you can see the elevation up here is 3,344 feet. At Jackson Gore, we have 2,700 oh, did I call it Solitude before? It's Jackson Gore. Solitude's over here. I think I called it Solitude before. It's Jackson Gore. Yeah, I get it. Sometimes I get confused by all this stuff. All right, so you get some good height over here. Generally, at the beginning of the season, and actually we can take a look at that, see what the report is right now as of today. Let's see, train status. So there's not a ton open, but 12 trails, which is pretty good. At 12 out of 127. And there's you show the lift status. You have a carpet. That's right at the clock tower. I mean, if you're absolute beginner, it's a good place to practice. South Ridge Quad. Okay, that's good. We'll take a look at where that is. And then Sunburst 6, so that's their bubble lift, just like they have at Mount Snow. They have a blue, they have an orange bubble lift here. I was there for when it opened. I remember that. So let's go to the clock tower. Nothing at the clock tower. So this is right above the clock tower, right underneath where the sugar house is, the food place that I talked about. Jackson Gore, as I mentioned, is not open yet because of the bears and their need to hibernate. So in terms of the main face, you have Lower Mountain Road, Lower Arrow, Sapphire's great. I love Sapphire. Oh my God. It's one of my favorite ones. Is Lower Sapphire open? Yeah, Lower Chief, Link, Drop Off, Double Dipper. I'll show you where all these are. Countdown, Shoot. Lower 103. Doesn't look like the Lower Sapphire is open yet. Too bad. Upper World Cup. So this is the typical terrain that's open during the beginning of this season. It's better now than it has been in the past. And I mean, last year, because I think they just said they were lucky to have a little bit more cold weather. So we're talking about to get to most of this terrain after you warm up here, you can ski down to Sunburst 6, and from there, you can pick a bunch of different trails to run. So here we have Upper World Cup, right? World Cup. So this is a nice little black. My favorite trails from up here are Nor'easter because it's just straight down. It's a black. It's not extremely steep compared to what you'd see like at Killington or somewhere like that, but it's steep enough. So some of these are really good. Nor'easter, um, Upper Chief and Lower Chief. Those are fun trails. I think Lower Chief is open right now, so you can go from World Cup to Shoot to get down there. So that's enough to entertain you if you're here for for your first skiing of the season. Um, I didn't think, did we have anything at Solitude that was open? I don't believe. Let's see, Solitude. Is there anything open at Solitude? I don't think anything's open at Solitude yet. So nothing at Solitude. All right, so you have 12 runs you can do. I would, if in the beginning of the season, you probably just wanted to focus on getting warmed up and feeling comfortable. do some laps here and then go if you feel comfortable enough. You know that on a busy weekend, there's going to be a lot of people running down Upper Chief, even if they're not good enough to do that yet. So you can I'd go to Upper Sapphire. Sapphire, you can go really fast. Sapphire has some steeps to it, but looks like Lower Sapphire isn't open, so you're going to go here to 103 to Upper Arrow and Lower Arrow. Lower Arrow gets really, really messy. I mean, it gets really because it's so it's at this intersection here. I mean, you'll be having, moguls everywhere. So just keep that in mind. If you're not comfortable with that kind of skiing, you're going to be doing it here anyway, regardless if you're comfortable or not. So let's take a look at some of the other areas that I think are good. Solitude is fun. Heaven's Gate, Sidewinder. The Sidewinder has some serious steepness to it. So if you're, no, it's a blue, it'll be easy to, not necessarily the case. It gets pretty steep here. Boomerang, Screaming Demon, I love the plunge. That's another steep one, but not horribly steep. Village Run. So you can come across, like say you're going on mountain road, you're doing one of these long mountain road runs. You say, I want to go down to Solitude, and you don't want to do plunge or Screaming Demon or Sidewinder or Boomerang. You can come down Village Run. It'll take you down here. But these are again heavily traversed runs, so they tend to be messier than if you go down one of these nicer, steeper runs. You have another express quad here. Summit Express. What I like to do when it's busy is instead of dealing with this Sunburst 6, so the line can be huge here. I mean, it holds 6 people. This bubble lift holds 6 people. But I actually ski down here, take this triple. So this is the Daniel secret. Take the triple and then go down Ridge Run and get to the Evergreen Summit Express and get to the top this way. So that's an easier way. Then you have access to all these trails over here too, and not just Mountain Road, Sweet Solitude, Everglades. Again, they're not all going to be open now, but when they are, they're good. If you want to cut across to get to Jackson Gore once it opens, there's a way to do that as well, right? From Mountain Road, go to Blue Moon. Lower Limelight is a nice run. It's one of the first blues I ever did at at Okemo. Then you have these nice blacks over here. So Upper Limelight is black. Again, they're not horrible. Uh, you can just do laps using this Quantum 6 here. Like you got Big Bang, you got Eclipse, Tucker Out. Tucker Out is a lot like Mountain Road. You get this beautiful views, amazing views. It's not really a hard run either. If when Jackson Gore is open, you have this little area here that's actually a very, very good learning area. You have this Coleman Brook Express and Espresso. You can take Espresso, you can go down fast tracks. It's interesting too that from Solitude, you can get to Jackson Gore using Jackalope. This is kind of fun run. I think you go through some tunnels or stuff to get there. There's this like little area here, but there's a tiny lift. It's actually really steep if you go down Line Drive. So there's some houses over here if you want to do that. But another little secret run is Upper Moon Shadow and going down to Lower Moon Shadow. It runs through some housing, and it's just kind of fun. Sometimes I just love doing these little house trails. My son is really into them too. Just go around. So you can do Sidewinder, and here's where you hit the steeps. Sidewinder again. This is steep for a beginner. So you don't. You want to do your first blue. This is going to be steep. It could freak you out. I was told first time I ever went there that a lot of people get freaked out by that. But then you can cut off at Moon Shadow. You can do whatever you want there. I would want to go down Jackalope to Southern Cross and then do everything, do the whole thing. It is such a beautiful mountain, and it's such a family-oriented mountain. Let me add something about the this south area, right? South face. This little area, Suncatcher, is a fun little run. I mean, you can actually, if you're lucky, you can find a parking space over here. That's what I would do. Those are some of my secrets. Find these alternative parking spaces. go over there, but you're not going to have access to a place to hang out because I think these are all like private areas, but still, I mean, I've never actually went inside looked for a place to stay there. I usually do this as a side run, and you can just play around here. It's actually a good, nice little green run. Usually not very many people there, so if you want to be quiet and just practice turns and stuff, I'd go over here. And you can take the South Face Quad. These runs here are fun, like Blind Faith, Lower Wild Thing. A lot of times you have ungroomed terrain here, and you can just play around Dreamweaver. There's loose spruce, which is literally a loose area, so there's not a lot of density of trees, so you can actually do some tree skiing there. You can, if you want to get up from, if you're at the top of the summit and you want to come down to this area, you just go down Countdown and work your way across Sprint. Usually that's kind of mogully and messy. That's what my experience there. Because again, it's a transit area. Any of these transit areas in these mountains are like that. In terms of amenities, the base area at the clock tower, that's where I usually am when I go here. I'm not a big Jackson Gore person. I have stayed at the Hotel Jackson Gore before, but that was during the preseason, right before it was open. So I had to bus all the way here. That didn't make me happy. But they do have an ice skating rink there and nicer restaurants, more fancy restaurants. And there's also a coaster here, I mean, one of those mountain coasters. I don't think it's open in the winter. Solitude has like a coffee shop and good for restroom break. Usually it's less crowded than the clock tower. Usually the clock towers and then and Jackson Gore are the most crowded areas to go. Uh, so the clock tower has a restaurant, and there's a separate little restaurant by the edge of the parking lot too. Where do I usually stay? Like I mentioned, I stayed once at this at Jackson Gore at the Jackson Gore Inn. Nice. I always get condos when I can, so I can cook. I'd rather cook. I love staying at the clock tower. There's it's an old-fashioned type set of condos, and you can just walk right off and go straight into the lift. I mean, just walk out your door into the lift. So that's one of my favorite places to stay. If you're an Epic Pass holder, you'll get a discount for lodging. Epic does a great deal with lodging discounts. But you got to act fast. You can't wait. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, as they say. Okay, let's take a look at pricing. So one of the issues with all the Vail resorts people worry about is the price. So, can I get a good price on tickets? Well, it depends on what you want to do. I'd say the first thing you want to do is you always want to buy, go get an Epic Pass or one of these major passes. You'll save a lot of money. Yes, it's more expensive at the beginning, but if you plan things out, you buy at the end of the season, you buy at the end of this season for next season, you'll save a tremendous amount of money. And the way they have the payment plans are really generous. So I wouldn't know. I don't know why anybody wouldn't do that. Because if you go to the window, you're paying a lot. I mean, so there's 12 trails open now. It's $136. This is actually a discount because you're it's probably a discount because you're buying it online versus in person. But it's today, so you're going to get a higher price. Let's see about tomorrow. I mean, it is a holiday weekend, but see, it's already cheaper, right? If you plan ahead, like say you want to go on Saturday, it's probably going to be pretty expensive then because it's a holiday weekend. Look, so it's the same price. You're saving money if you plan ahead. If you decide at the last minute you're going to pay for it, okay, you're going to pay for that at the last minute. You're going to pay the regular price, window price. However, if you were to get one of these Epic one-day passes, it's $106. So it's basically the same price as you would pay being a kid, right? So you plan ahead. Planning ahead will save you money. Skiing isn't it's sad. It's not one of those things you can be really spontaneous about, especially now when a lot of places are going into dynamic pricing. So that what they mean by dynamic pricing is that the mountain will charge you depending on the demand for that day. So there's high demand, the prices go up. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Let's take a look at we have a mountain cam. Let's look at the mountain cams and see what's going on. This was getting me excited. And so I want to see some mountain cams. All right. So it's 8:46 a.m. I don't think it, well, no, they don't open till like 9:30. Here's at the summit. That's where you get off the bubble. Those are the bubble lifts. Get off the bubble lift. They're running already. Of course, they're getting ready to go. Yeah, that's beautiful, huh? Look at those views. It's not cold, so you have some more slushy-ish conditions, but it's okay. Beginning of the season, there's not a lot of depth to the slush. This is, I think this is the Sugar House cam. So you're near Lower Mountain Road. You can see that not heavy coverage, so a lot of these areas aren't open, but Lower Mountain Road is open. There's some snowmobiling there. There you go. So that's my review of Okemo Mountain Resort in Ludlow. I don't think I forgot anything this time. Oh, distance. Yeah, so from New York, probably like you're still talking about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours, because you have to add little. So I talked about getting from the big cities to Stratton, you have to add an extra half an hour. The road from Stratton to Okemo is actually uh, it's fine, but it's just a regular country road all the way. I will add something. When you're coming from down south, you have to pass through. Well, you don't have to, especially if you're going up to Killington, but if you're going to Okemo, it's better to pass through Troy, New York, right? Albany and Troy. I'll tell you, think hard about when you go through those towns because Albany has either one lane or two lanes that keep on turning into one lane roads, and it gets busy, especially at like peak hours in the day. It's actually a busy little town. So one of my favorite or least favorite parts of this whole trip is going through Troy, either going to the mountains or coming back from the mountain. It always turns out to be just a mess. Just takes a long time, so it can get on your nerves a little bit. But yeah, but once you get closer, it's low, it's beautiful all the way there. Cell phone reception isn't that great all the way around. I don't understand why. I mean, I ski in Utah and I'm going through these canyons to get up to all these cool Utah places, and I always have tons of reception. I could even do, my son was doing work once while we were driving up through the canyons. But here in Vermont and Pennsylvania, we don't get that same luxury, sadly. But let me see, what else did I want to say? Anything else? I think that's it, but thank you. And please subscribe to my channel. It helps me make these beautiful videos. It's free for you, no charge to subscribe. Thank you. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your skiing.